Hello everyone and welcome once again to Prof. Dan Tutorials. Please kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Our topic today is on the topic, the 5-number summary. Please, I would advise you to watch the previous video on the topic quartiles because this is like a continuation. So what are these 5-number summary? So we have the minimum value. So in a given set of data, you can first divide the data into two parts, where the middle is the median, which is called the second quartile. Okay, from the second quartile downward, which is the lower half, you get the data minimum and the first quartile, and from the second quartile upward, which is the upper half, you get the third quartile and the maximum value. Okay, so I'm going to take you through what we call the box and whisker plot, because your 5-number summary can be plotted on this. Now you have this straight line. The first end here is the minimum value. The last tail end here is our Q1, the first quartile where the rectangular box starts, and where it ends is our third quartile, which is Q3. Where it ends between Q3 and the last point of the straight line here is what we call the maximum. And inside the rectangular box, this line here is the middle value, the median of the data set, which is Q2 or the second quartile. Okay, so from this plot, you have the number line which describes the data and the 5-number summary. So first, let's start with the minimum value here. If you trace it down to the number line, it's somewhere around this point, and we can call that, let's say, 2.4, almost middle. So we can say the minimum value in this case is 2.4. Okay, so we can get our first quartile. The first quartile in this case, if you trace it down the number line, is 4. You can get the second quartile, which is the median, and that's a 6. You know the third quartile, Q3. If you trace it down to number line, you also get 9. And lastly, you get the maximum value. If you trace the maximum down from this tail end, is almost 10, so that is about 9.8. So these are the 5-number summary in this case, which I've been gotten from the plot box and whisker plots. This one. Okay, so this is one scenario. Another case is when you are given the data and you have to plot the box and whisker plots. Okay, so what do? Don't forget, the very first thing, taking a look at this example, is to order your data value. Make sure you order them from the smallest to the highest. So if we look at this, we see that 2 is the smallest, so I can have my 2, followed by 3 is next, so I have my 3. I have 10, and lastly 12. Okay, so now that we have ordered the numbers accordingly from the lowest to the highest, from this we can easily get the minimum value. So our minimum value in this case is 2. That is the lowest value. And we have the maximum value, which is the highest value in this data, as 12. So we have 12. Next, we need to get the second quartile, which is the median of this data, the middle value, dividing the data into two halves. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 data sets. So the median is going to fall here. Before the median, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, after the median, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the middle, which is our second quartile, that is 6. Next is what we call the first quartile, which is Q1. I told you that you have to consider the lower halves. This is the lower half. The data value before the median, before Q2, and they are 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now we need to find the median of this, and that will give us our Q1. There are 4 data sets here, 1, 2, 3, 4. In this case, the middle value is dual, that is 3 and 4. If you check our previous video on how to find the median of such kind of data, it is simply the average, that is 3 plus 4 over 2, and that is 7 over 2, which gives you 3.5 as our Q1. How do you get Q3? Q3 is the third quartile, and that is the middle value in the upper half. And where is the upper half? All the data values after Q2. Okay, this is Q2 after the median. So that is we have 7, 8, 10, and 12. So if you look at this, the median also lies between 8 and 9. 8 and 10. So you look for the average, 8 plus 10 over 2, and that's going to give you 18 over 2, which gives 9. So now that we've gotten our 5-number summary, the next thing is now to draw the box and whisker plot. How do you do that? First, you draw a straight line. That straight line should house your data. So put your data, our data values from 2 to 12. So I can decide to start from, let's say, 1, 2. So let's take it to 12, 3. And when you do, now you have the number line describing the data from 1 to 12. So the next thing is locate the minimum value 2 and the first quarter Q1. So that is 2 and 3.5. Draw a straight line from 2 to 3.5, something like this. So this is 3.5, yeah? Okay, so I have this straight line from 2 to 3.5. The next thing now is from that Q1, this is your Q1, construct a rectangular box from that Q1 to end at Q3. And what is Q3? 9. So to end at 9, yeah, so I have this. So construct a rectangular box. Okay, this is my Q3. And lastly, from my Q3, okay, to the maximum value, which is 12. So I draw a straight line from Q3 to 12, which is this point. Okay, so this is my maximum, my minimum, and lastly, Q2, which is gonna be inside the rectangular box. My Q2 is 6. So I have 6, draw a straight line. This is my Q2. So I have Q2, Q1, Q3. From the minimum to Q1 is part 1. From Q1 to Q2 is part 2. From Q2 to Q3 is part 3. And from Q3 to my maximum is part 4. And this is going to be the end of this tutorial. Kindly rewind back and look at it again, get some more questions from your textbook online and solve. I wish you all the best. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, Prof. Dan Tutorials, and have a nice day. Bye bye.